This episode is in partnership with Novotel Nairobi Westlands. This exquisite hotel provides a high level of comfort and relaxation for all leisure, wellness, and business guests. Welcome back to the podcast. This is What's Your Story Africa Season 2, where we share stories of people who are catalyzing change, bringing impact in Africa. Joining me is Kevin Irungu, the founder and CEO of CHIPUROBO, a bold AI and robotics startup based in Kenya. In this episode, Kevin shares his journey from vision to execution, the technical and business challenges of building in Africa, and how African-born innovation can lead the next wave of smart technology on the continent. If you're curious about the future of robotics, the rise of AI in Africa, or simply want to hear from someone building big with limited resources, this one's a must watch. Kevin Irungu is the founder and CEO of CHIPUROBO, AI and robotics social enterprise. Have I said it right?
Correct. You're very correct.
I am?
Yes, you are.
He just turned 30 years. And as we do it here on this podcast, we love to just feature stories of entrepreneurs, Africans doing incredible things in this continent, whether you're an African or not, by the way. As long as you're doing incredible things that empower, elevate, inspire, uplift the people who live in Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, name it, in Africa, you will be on this podcast somehow. This young man is the first creator of what? The first AI robotics, just say it because I'll mess it up.
The first AI robotics toolkit.
Imagine. And he uses that to teach students all over this country.
All over this country.
Yeah.
And I teach them 4 disciplines. And it takes them from 0 to hero. We can talk more about those 4 disciplines.
4 disciplines.
Yes.
So he created it like from scratch. I have seen it when I visited his workshop a couple of days ago. I saw this toolkit. We'll share pictures with you. And he said him and his co-founders are the Africa PayPal mafia. We better watch out. And he's also a human bot, he said. So welcome to this podcast.
Thank you.
I know that was such a long intro. I'll do a better job next time.
I'm honored. Thank you.
So you founded the first AI and robotics social enterprise in this country.
Yes.
And I dare say perhaps in East Africa.
Yes.
We do not have such a thing happening here.
No, and we actually don't stand to be corrected. Yeah, we don't stand to be corrected.
We don't stand to be corrected.
No,
His is the first.
Yeah.
So if you're looking to get into AI robotics, this is a story you just want to, just like stay on and watch and listen. So how did we come to this point, Kevin? Like you're now 30 years old. You just recently turned 30. Someone watching you and you have this this is going on, PayPal mafia, yada yada. But your story didn't start like that.
No, it's very long.
Yeah.
And where would you like us to start?
I would like us to start right after high school.
Just right after high school. Remember, leaving high school. So do you want us to give this high school a name?
It's up to you. Tell me.
There's a very important correlation to that journey.
Okay.
From high school. And this high school is big shout out to Nyahururu High School.
Oh, shout out. So tunatuma salamu. It's a Kenyan thing, by the way.
It's a Kenyan thing. And just right after finishing high school, there's this so many dots. Nimetoka high.
Yeah.
And then kutoka high.
Yeah.
You're waiting for our results. It's about that time to start campus.
Yeah.
So you're in that onanga kale kagap kana kuanga between just right after you finish high school.
Yes.
From December to all the way from March. I'm here conversing with my parents and my friends. Wananyambia, Kevo, tunajua unafanyanga hizi vitu za computer. Umeanza kutoka kitambo sana. Tunajua you want to do something that is related to computers.
Yeah.
We know. And some of them, mind you, results ishatoka. Mimi niko na B-. Some of them have passed. Most of them have passed. In fact, I was just an average student.
B- ni average.
Ni average.
No one should ask me what I got.
So from that B-, my friends are joining campus. Some of them sponsored, some of them serikali imewalipia. Like everyone, like the whole court, my whole squad, hood, tunaingia shule.
Pia wewe?
Pia mimi sasa. So that B-, I put my foot on the ground and tell my dad, as in you can see, I've been called to do economics, but what I would love to do, I mean, you've seen it from when I was small, I want to do things that are related to computers.
Right.
So I joined Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology.
Okay.
And
JKUAT.
Yeah, JKUAT. So JKUAT, Karen.
Okay.
Iye niko karibu na Rongai.
Okay.
Remember bado na tunaishi Rongai.
Okay.
So from there, it's unajua kulipia fees na you don't have enough money to pay for the degree course because now you won't only amua kufanya computer science. Don't have enough money to pay for the degree course. I can only afford the diploma one. So I do a diploma in business information technology at Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology at Karen. So it's that normal community of Manyanga kutoka Rongai mpaka JKUAT Karen. Nashikia all of you, I think most of you can remember if you go to JKUAT Karen, there's that long stretch from ukishuka mat from the stage all the way to JKUAT Karen. I used to walk around, I would say 3 kilometers there if I'm not wrong. Mpaka JKUAT Karen, and then in the evening come back. So that's where I did my studies. Got a lot of memories there, learned a lot when it comes to, in this world of technology, how it's separated into so many bits. And then from there, now I start grasping things so quick. I start feeling like what I'm learning and what I'm grasping from outside and inside, it's kind of hazipelekani vizuri.
Okay. Mbona nini ilikuwa disconnect?
Nikitoka class, and YouTube, home, start learning to program, start learning how to code. And then I find out as time goes by, the things that I'm being taught and the things I want to learn, there's a difference. And the things that I want to learn and the things I'm being taught,
different. Yeah, it's like night and day.
Yeah, and then my brain just
locked.
Yeah, locked and then switches. Yeah, it locks in on this interest.
Yeah.
And then switches from
school stuff.
Yeah, that's school stuff. Yeah, it switches. Yeah, like there's that switch. I remember. It was just after finishing my internship at the immigration office at Nyayo House. I worked there.
Okay.
As an intern. Just right after, I just asked myself, okay, there are skills that I want. If I go back, am I going to learn those skills? Kevin, are you sure that you're going to learn these skills? And after this given time, are you going to be able to work or do the things that you want after finishing school?
How old were you at this time when you're thinking about?
I'm 21 there. I'm 21 there.
You are so deep at that age.
Yeah, I'm 21 there. And I'm 21 there.
Okay.
And that's the period where I decide, you know what? All my friends are coming back from attachment, wanarudi kumaliza, bakisha tu sehemu moja, wa graduate from the diploma, waingie straight to degree course.
Right.
Kwa sababu wanasema chap sabot.
Na wewe unasema?
Mimi nasema, mimi tumerudi tu hivi tumepatana. Wanauliza, "Kevin, unataka kufanya?" Hey guys, I think I'm going to
drop out
and go do this thing called programming through a school called Moringa School.
So hold on. So you knew it's called programming because you had been doing YouTube videos, watching YouTube videos.
Yes.
And you felt that's where like mnaingiana na hiyo
vizuri kabisa.
And JQuad wasn't offering that at the time.
It was, but at that moment, within its offering, you only get 3 months to do the thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's programming per semester.
Okay.
So if you're learning programming, who can really get from zero to hero using 3 months as learning program? It doesn't make sense. It's like telling me you're going to learn surgery, like 3 months.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, it
didn't make sense to you.
That's a very short
period of time.
And then you go in class.
So kuna your personal attention, nini?
Kuna personal attention.
Yeah, the one you wanted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So most of the time, even if the teacher is there, most of the things you need to do by yourself. You need to craft out your roadmap, and that just depends on your interest.
Right.
So my interest is just growing. The teacher, I'm only seeing him twice a week. My hunger is just growing. So I feel like,
yeah, it wasn't a good fit for you.
Yes, like, do I feel this hunger or just move the way things have been moving?
Wow. So then you decided to
make that big decision, which hit a very big crack. Yeah. It's like that decision also made a very big crack in my personal life, because.
Tell us about it. What was the crack?
From switching to, you see, from a family perspective, education is the key to success. And all Africans, like you sit like all our parents, what is the conversation? Their metric to them seeing you, whether you're going to succeed or not, is you going through that education system. Then seeing, hey, ulikuwa JQuad. And then all of a sudden, hey, ati tena hausaidiki huku. And then
what did you tell your parents? What was the exact thing you said to them?
Quote unquote, dad na mami, sioni kama mimi nitaendelea, zile vitu zenye nafunzwa mimi najua. So that was not taken lightly by my dad. Yeah, that was not.
Was it a hard conversation to have? Obviously,
a very difficult conversation.
Yeah,
which also led to him like, son, I don't know what to. Mahali nimekufikisha, nimejaribu kabisa. I have done my best. And at the same time, they were going through this turmoil with my mom, so they were going through this divorce phase. So yeah, like, to him, it was like, probably this is just a sign things are just getting more difficult and difficult. So yeah, akaniachilia. Yeah, akasema, so unaona hii ndio you're able to make a decision like a man. Okay, you go ahead and you best be responsible for those actions. So just at the get-go, that decision ilikuwa, because you've chosen this, you follow it and you pray it goes well. So was there to help me with Moringa School.
And what was your mom's reaction at that time?
Heavy, because also for her, it's more of the only safety net that we had, or the one we thought we had, was get a good education, get a job, so that you could support me, you could support us.
Yeah.
So her seeing me switch up that big, make that big decision like that, was also scary for her, because she felt like we have nowhere to like lean on, because things are not going very well and they're just about to split.
Yeah.
So I end up joining Moringa School, and luckily enough, I usually say Anthony Mwangi is someone who, to me, is, let's say, goated, because he saw something in me, which I think you also see. It's just within me. You can just, if you look through me or within me, you'll see it. So most times I try to put myself in a place where you can see it. So if you see it, you'll see the genuinity of me wanting to do something.
Yeah.
And because you do, he saw it too. So he said, it was just one simple conversation. yeah, your parents said unamea pembe, utaki kufanya kitu wenye watu wengine wanafanya. So that decision of your peers are going this way and you're going this way.
Yeah.
So for them, it's you're not sure whether that way you're going is the right way.
Yeah. What was the period of time between when your dad said, whatever you want, that's your life, and between that time and when you met with Mr. Mwangi?
Around 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
Cause tunakumbuka hiyo time ndo pia dada anasema mi nimechoka, mi nadai kuenda pia mimi. So as soon as possible, my mom also freaked out, rings Anthony.
Yeah.
Rings Anthony, yo, huyu mambo imeenda left, you need to do something. So that's when we have that conversation. He sees enyewe huyu sasa amepotea, kuna kitu anataka. He's not actually lost. It's something that he wants, which no one actually understands.
Yeah.
So the best way I can help him is just to empower him so that he can do what he wants. He said, you know what? I'll pay school fees for you. Start April. It's a coincidence that I started.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, and your dad and your mom left. I mean, they
split up. Yeah, they split up.
Yeah.
And they don't split up when I start Moringa School. They split up this period where there's turmoil and everything. That's still the same time I'm going through Moringa School. Wow. So it's a coincidence. Just right after I'm finishing Moringa School, I get a job so that now my dad retires. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. She did really small jobs. So now I'm the one who's taking care of them. So you can just imagine. And it's not long. It's like 6 to 7 months.
Yeah, Moringa is 6 to 7.
6 to 7 months.
Yeah.
So you can
by that time, your dad had left, your mom is by herself.
Yeah.
And your dad is, he's...
Yeah, ako peke yake. Kila mtu ako peke yake. But kila mtu ananitegemea mimi.
Wote wawili pale wako ni wewe wanaangalia.
Ni mimi wanaangalia.
Yeah. So you finished Moringa, got a job. And how did that come about?
Another grace by God.
Okay.
During our career day at Moringa School, there's this, usually say, we call them career days.
Yes.
Because this is the time that either hiring people or people who are looking to see what devs have been doing. They come to Moringa School just to see the projects that they've done over the course of 6 months. It's kind of show us what you've learned for the last 6 months. That's where I meet representative from a kitabu called Michael. Michael refers me and says, you should come for an interview. And that's why I meet as Will Klarman. Will Klarman was, or still is, my boss even now. Came for an interview after a week. So, your week previous, career day. Next week, Monday. Now you need Monday, third week of, if I can remember correctly, third week or just before the company's closed. It was around second week of December. See, companies in the 20th April. So it's the first week of deck. So first week of deck, kuja office Monday. Monday, I meet Will. You see the same thing you're seeing. You see the same thing Anthony saw. He sees it too.
And he gave you a job. And your role was?
Nakumbuke, the people who are being interviewed the same time as me, kuna degrees, mimi drop out. Mimi kuna do certificate ya Moringa School. By that time, Moringa School bado, it's not yet known. Remember the beef that I got with my parents because they don't know Moringa School.
Yeah.
So I'm there, college dropout, certificate, no favors, nothing, just God and him carrying you. So it's just him. Took my hand, Will saw his hand. I said, you know what? Let me give you an opportunity. An opportunity.
Yes. And your role was what?
Coming as a software developer. Nakumbuke, because I don't have also because of my education level, I'm coming in as an intern. Hao wengine wenye wana apply, like, kuna haja uingie kama intern, unaweza ingia kama tu, like a full time thing. So I'm still on probation for the next 3 to 6 months. 3 to 6 months. I finish those 3 to 6 months, I get confirmed. And I'm here in this education space now, working as a dev, so writing code, but for education purposes. So now, knowledge, again, kama kawaida. You remember the whole rodeo with JQuat? That rodeo is now, again, tuendelee sasa, knowledge in now, tuanze sasa kusoma, tuanze sasa kuona vile coding and programming affects the real world.
Wow.
So I do that still doing it even now.
Yeah.
Still write code for educational apps. Still, I am a software developer at Kitabu. And for the course of those 7 years, I've seen what technology can do in the education space if done correctly.
If done well.
Yeah. So my whole point of, there's this notion of developers wanakanga kwa desk mahali, wanajifungia, kazi tu ni kuangalia
kwa giza.
Well, now when I was working in Kitabu, and I'm still doing that, is go to the ground. You see that app that you build, you see those products that you build, try and see how they are being used by both teachers and students. So from there, I was able to see, if EdTech or ed resources are packaged correctly, this is how they can help these learners. And the biggest question I would always be asked when I would go to these schools is, you're a software, you're the one who built this. How can I become like you? And I want to, like, this is a child in primary or in secondary. I've gone there to teach them how to access digital resources for their class. And then they end up asking me, so this app that I'm using, who built it? I tell them, it's me and my team.
Yeah.
That's so cool. How do I those questions start becoming more and more and more and more and more and more and more. And by the time I do my first training for teachers, it was around 300 to 400 teachers there. I'd never done that before.
Yeah.
Now the questions that I would get from teachers is, you can teach the same way other trainers can teach, but there's a way you teach, things just stick. And from then on, I got to experience this experience repeats itself even now.
Okay.
That feeling of, have you ever gone to a class where a teacher is so good at teaching, you don't want to go even if it's lunchtime or it's break time. So that was my first time to do seeing teachers. I'm teaching, it's break, I'm tired, they don't want to leave. To now, it's been 7 years, still get calls from teachers and students from both primary and secondary of teach.
So how did CHIPUROBO then come about in that, the last 7 years? At what point did you feel it's important to start a company?
When COVID hit, just when COVID hit, that's when I went, now you're working from home. Most of the time you're just working from home. So I get a lot of questions on how can I learn programming, because because like parents just asking me,
yeah.
Tuko kwa nyumba sana, mtoto wangu anataka kujua hii programming, so this is just from a family perspective, like teach my like Kevo bana,
the cousins,
you're now kitambo I wasn't a good example, because I
dropped out of
but now it's been only 6 months. Kevo pekee ndo 6 months and then unapata job. Yani IT. Ongea na nitakupatia namba ya Kevin. Ongea na yeye. It just starts like that.
Yeah.
Family. Ongea na my son. Ongea na. So it starts from ongea na to how can I package something that this learner can use to learn these things that I also struggle with, but now guided. So that's when I said you can't teach something that you're not good at. So your time of COVID, I bought all electronics. So even like that time I was in a bedsitter. So deliveries zikikuja za mawire, my cables, batteries, and then all of a sudden, niko job. I sell my phone.
You sell it?
Yeah, I sell it.
Okay.
Like not even my phone. I sell almost everything that I own of electronics that are of comfort. Everything. I remain with a bed and a chair. That chair I usually have it in my workshop. I think I told you about it. It's a blue chair. There's one blue chair in the workshop. It's still there even now. Yeah, I remain with that blue chair and my bed.
Where were you selling your electronics?
So I sold it to my co-workers. So I just told them, you know what, who wants this phone? I'll take it for 55, 60K. Shika. Fridge.
Why were you selling?
I needed to buy electronics for learning, like everything concerning robotics. Robotics is not cheap. I needed, like, when you're in that, none of your feeling, I need to learn. I need to learn. I need to connect these dots. And for me to connect these dots, I need things around me. And these things that I have in my house has nisaidia nikauza kila kitu. Hey. So now we are back to family and friends. You know the feeling of they don't see me as, now you look like you're confused now. Umeanza job, and then umeanza kuuza vitu zako ndio uanza kufanya hizi stories za robotics. Kevo man, umepotea tena. You see, you're back to, you're lost again.
Yeah.
From both family and friends and like colleagues. Because now, kumbuke, the same cohort I was in school with, pia wameanza kupata job. So most of them, they're just settling in work. And for me, it's like, no, scratch this. I want to, I need to double down on this thing called STEM and robotics.
So what is robotics, by the way?
It's a combination of 4 disciplines.
Okay.
It can be 4 or more, but in its basic form, it's someone who can join wires, like hardware, and logic using programming, and then an actionable thing happens which you can see in the physical world. So within those 3 steps that I've told you, you need to learn how to use a machine to make it tangible, correct? And then secondly, you need wires and batteries and power to power things up. Once you power them, you need logic or instructions of the thing to do something. And then once you connect those two things, then you have something that is either moving around or talking back to you in the physical world. So essentially, that's just what robotics is. 4 disciplines, like electronics, hardware, mechanical, and programming, in its simplest form. But it can be more advanced. It can be more complex.
Yeah. Okay.
But essentially, how I see it in Africa, I usually don't call it just like robot. Robotics is a flashy word.
Okay.
For an African perspective, kama kuwa fundi mwenye anajua programming.
Okay.
Kama it's like
fundi wa stima ule anajua programming.
Kama fundi wa stima mwenye anajua programming. Kama fundi wa stima mwenye anajua mechanical or electrical engineering. So if you take a fundi wa stima or these artisans that we usually have, teach them how to program, teach them how to interact with programming and hardware for something back to happen in the physical world. That's what you get. Someone who is an innovator who can implement or can harness artificial intelligence in the form of programming to do something. So in a nutshell, that's just what it does.
Okay.
So CHIPUROBO came from that. Me as a programmer saying, there's so many people who know how to build apps. Like by the time I was finishing Moringa school, like most people, like you can build 100 apps, you can build websites. There's just so many of us doing that thing. So feeling there's just so many of me in campus doing this thing. So nimerudi to the same place. Like hold up. Kitu nimesoma Moringa school, tuko wengi, but mostly ni ya kutafuta tu riziki yako. Wewe kujisaidia. Nini naweza fanya nisaidie wengine ama waweze kujisaidia bila kungojea mshahara. So that's where the idea of building an institution or a social enterprise where learners can come. From there, there's a combination of machinery and someone who knows how to program, who can teach them how to connect these two, software and hardware, to come up with a product or something that they built. Using readily available materials. Even raw materials sourced from Kenya. So it's a zero to hero roadmap of creating a version of myself that is innovative and doesn't rely on employment to make a living. That's essentially that.
Tell me some of the things that you have created at CHIPUROBO.
It's quite interesting. A couple of months ago, we collaborated with a very good friend of mine called Igor Tilman. He's from Poland. And we talked about helping children who are disabled, like physically disabled, mostly legs, on giving them assistive, assistive crutches, like 3D printed crutches. So we made crutches that children can use in my workshop, just like that. Things that you usually expect to be done in industrial area. Manze tulifanya tu hapo kwa workshop within like 5 hours.
5 hours? You had a crutch?
I had a whole crutch. And it's a combination of vitu nimekwambia. Chukua raw materials, hapo juu ni plastic. Katikati si ni chuma. Tafuta chuma, shuka grogwan, tafuta chuma. Kuja nayo kwa workshop. Plastic, eka kwa 3D printer. Shikanisha hizo vitu mbili pamoja. And there you have it.
You're saying it like it's such a simple thing.
Well, my goal is just to make it as simple as I've said it.
Wow. Okay.
That's my job is to make what I've just told you to be as simple as I've just said it. Like Africans in general, I'm not saying Kenyans, Africans. Huku inje, toka inje. Tukiwa like this notion I showed you. You've asked me what are some of the other things that we do there is building learning materials for kids. What are some of those learning materials? When you are young, you used to say, ukiona mtu amevaa watch, Manze inaweza kuwa ni mtoto wa China ameunda hiyo watch. That thing stuck to me so much because at that moment when we were joking like that, it's the same time probably one of us is seated down making a toy with mud most times. And if you're advanced, unatengeneza gari ya wire. You remember those?
True.
You remember?
Yes.
Remember that era?
Yes.
And most of us come from that era.
Oh, the football ya
makratasi.
Yes.
So Bhutan, now think about it. We are in this age of artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
You're an African. How do you help a child in this smart world move from kutengeneza gari na mawaya to kutumia machinery kuunda toys zake? So how do you, what's the gap? Hapo katikati, what's the gap? So CHIPUROBO is that bridge to help a learner. I think you saw from the workshop. We take plywood yenye ukienda kwa shop, plywood is usually used for like making furniture. So you can imagine the same plywood, if you use a machine, cuts wood into pieces, a child comes, assembles those pieces into a toy car. So you can imagine that feeling of I turned a piece of wood into
my toy,
and they go home with it.
Wow. And that's what happens at your workshop. Because I saw kids also that day I came, like there was a ton of kids and they keep checking in.
It's usually like that. And it's even started at my house. See that bed sitter?
Yes.
So kumbuka nimetengeneza, nimeanza kununua vitu, got my first 3D printer. Started from there. My neighbors who were around, kuja home, what do you expect? Someone who's between 25 to 26 years old, what do you expect? Napata na PS5, play video games or something. Wanakuja hivi kwa nyumba, find a bed, a table, and a 3D printer. And it starts moving around, creating things. So that, you see that interest? So that's where even my co-founders came from. They would come to visit, wanakuja kwangu, wanaona, ni nini anafanya? And that's how one of them, akabaki, called up his friend. I have my friend who does this thing called 3D printing. Manze unafaa kujua wale Kenya anafanya. So that bed sitter, they come. That's how they never left. My friend called Jeffrey and David.
Okay. Like, they're your co-founders.
They're my co-founders and Cindy as well.
Yeah.
And they never left. Those were the guys that came to my house, saw what I was doing, and they said, you know what, we can do this thing together. And I moved out of that bed sitter because now vitu zimekuwa mingi, space ni kidogo. Nenda kwa one bedroom. Then one bedroom to get more space for me, for the workshop. So that CHIPUROBO workshop we came to. Graduated from a bed sitter to one bedroom. That one bedroom being converted into a sitting room. Hiyo ndo workshop. Kila kitu iko hapo. Inafika mahali mpaka chances of you stepping on a screwdriver are so high. Yeah, they're so high. The only thing you can do is try and look for space to not teach. So that's where now the requests for, nilikuwa namka asubuhi na kuongea mlango hivi na watoto. Yo, you need to come and learn. Like in my house, from morning 8:30 up till around 12:30, well, that's not like you need to come eat lunch and what. So it's from there to wanting a space where the youth can come, share knowledge, they learn as much, they get empowered, and from there use what I've given them as skills to empower themselves and others.
Yeah.
So
how have you, I remember also you telling me, I think was it Jeffrey who's using the same, I don't want to use the wrong terms, the same technology in agriculture.
It's David.
It's David.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for David, I see him, he wants to integrate agriculture and technology, like those two things all together. I hope one day you get to speak to him and he gets to tell you his vision.
Yeah.
But remember, we are building CHIPUROBO so that we can build, it's a whole ecosystem of skills and learning, and then output is a product. and some of the products that
Yeah.
we're going to be making
Yeah.
are in education, are in agriculture, which David is really focusing on.
Yeah.
Trying to make farming efficient, increasing crop yield. So those are things that he is doing
Yeah.
using artificial intelligence.
A very special thank you to our partners and friends at Nulink. Nulink is working to provide renewable energy solution and products. It covers a wide range of products, including solar panels, inverters, battery packs, storage cabinets, charging piles, and EV charger. For more details, please contact them at chris@nulinkhk.com.
So I'd love for you to one day sit with him.
Yeah, and tell his story.
And I hope by the time you're doing that, within this couple of months, he's going to be in a place where he can also show you how that solution is being adopted in an African context.
Wow.
Yeah, and
in agriculture.
In agriculture, and Jeffrey in sports.
So basically, it can apply in any industry, is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, it can apply in any industry. You just need to understand that industry, modularize it in a context of your environment.
Yeah.
That's just it. You don't have to copy and paste. No, that paste is, okay, let me first learn the technology, try and see whether it can be plugged into our environment.
Yeah.
And some of those use cases are in education, sports, film, and agriculture. So we started with education because you can't teach something that you're not good at.
Yes.
Also. So teach, empower, and as you're doing that, start creating products that you can show Africans. This is how you combine 4 disciplines to build something that is going to help you in your environment. So that's how.
So is this a subject taught in schools, or it's just someone has to be interested? It's not.
No,
AI is not taught in schools.
No, it's and in Africa they just introduced it as a curriculum.
Okay.
I think South Africa is one of the first countries to do so. But also remember, in order to do so, you need well-propered infrastructure to support it, in the form of learning materials, in the form of you need very good internet, you need a well-trained teacher, and CHIPUROBO just does that. It's at the vanguard of collaborating with very good partners like Ep.008 and Microsoft, in a way that it provides an infrastructure for a learner to see, so if I take this roadmap, this is the person who I can be. Like that.
Yes.
So that's the bridge that we're trying to create.
Yeah.
Not a facade kind of, I'm lying to you. No, it's here's what I've done. I did it too, and if you follow it, this is who you get to become. That way.
So how many schools have you impacted so far?
Total schools around 50.
Wow. This is high schools.
High schools. Primary schools around 10. Total number of students, I think from this year, the number we just did 2 months ago, total is now, we're hitting 9,500 students in a span of 2.5 years. 2.5 years. So 2.5 years we've reached 9,500 students. And it has all come out of either our own pockets.
Yeah, I was going to ask that. Like, how did you fund CHIPUROBO?
The same. Remember how it started for me selling my phone to learning. It's been, guys, us and the co-founders, like, we know this school thing, if you are in the business of making money, you're not going to go any far. It's about how we can replicate me.
Yeah.
So how do we start? So from the get-go, it's create as much awareness as possible and show the importance. So that's just how we've worked around bootstrapping ourselves from that bedsitter to having a workshop, the Central Business District, to hosting and partnering with partners like Microsoft to do an AI literacy bootcamp where we have over 85 learners and 15 teachers coming to learn about this AI toolkit that we created from our one bedsitter apartment. So it's that form of work and validation.
So step by step by step. So it wasn't overnight. You didn't
No,
have like a stack of money somewhere and you just said, let's do this now.
No, there's no one who's funding us. Do you know, we work so hard that you might think, most people ask that, you got funded by, no, we haven't gotten funded by anyone.
Yeah.
It's just support from, as I told you, from an employee perspective, my employer supporting me with this thing that I'm doing, and because it is true, he is seeing the impact that it is doing. And then second of all is, as we are offering this, we know it might be costly, but we are looking also for partners who can incentivize this so that we're able to provide it to learners at an affordable rate or even for free. So these are some of the infrastructures that currently I'm trying to create so that next time tukija workshop, it's so full, we don't even have a chance to speak there. We just another 2 inches.
Yeah.
So right now I'm in that mode of this workshop. It's like treated like a mothership where child comes in, molded. What they churn out is them as a product, and also you see their hands. They've used their hands to create something that they can hold with their hand. And that's something that Africans in general, we haven't been able to do. Like at an industrial perspective, kama majani chai peke yake. Right now, like we still struggle with turning tea into finished product or coffee into a finished product. So when we say we are going to make the second or first electric EV car, what's the roadmap for that? I think the best roadmap for that is this thing that I'm creating.
Yeah. Do we understand AI well enough?
I don't think we do.
Maybe because we don't know what it is or its power.
I don't think we do. We don't know its power. And then because it comes with a lot in form of money and in funding, people are more interested with the reward, not the actual process. Yeah. So you find there's a combination of starting a company just to talk about I'm doing artificial intelligence, but not actually doing the thing.
Yeah.
So from my perspective is learn, teach, take a small aspect of it, try and see whether you can apply it in case studies in different sectors, and then from there, then you can talk about building data centers and all that shabang. But for now, just you remember the thing, to sell your phone to buy a piece of hardware. Right now, NVIDIA has launched very affordable pieces of hardware that you can do on-premise artificial intelligence for different use cases. So let me just simplify that for you.
Yes.
Natumianga ChatGPT sahi. So do you know where that information for ChatGPT goes?
No.
It's probably stored in a data center somewhere.
Okay.
So you type that prompt, inaenda mahali, si ndio? Mahali imeenda, mimi na wewe hata tuseme basi tunajua pale inaenda. Bado haizi kwa karibu.
Okay.
Somewhere far, probably a data center in UK or US or somewhere.
Yeah.
So for Africans, for us to understand technology, we need to bring that data center here locally. Something that you can see it. You can see where that data is going. If you send a prompt, there's a physical place you can see with your eyes where you say, your data imeenda pale. So one of the approaches that we are currently doing to scale up artificial intelligence in Africa is building, I would say, they say locally accessible data centers. So data centers we are here in Kenya or South Africa. Well, I don't think that's the solution. The solution to that is, as you said, we usually joke as programmers.
Yeah.
It's like having a MacBook for programming, but you're not a good programmer. Yeah, you understand? Yeah. So best case is, you see, they are really focused on the outcome, where having a very big data center, which it would be sad having a very big data center which is not being
used, or because there's no one who knows how to use it.
Exactly. Yeah. So for the best approach, which I think we can take as Africans, is pick this small hardware, pick these things that you can actually purchase that are small, put them in your home server, start pushing data there, start working on collecting data. Know even how to collect data. Right now you're using ChatGPT. Do you know the percentage of information bias that ChatGPT has on information that is giving back to you? Most of the data it was trained on is not on an African context. It was on a UK, US, Australia, China perspective. So you can imagine the answers it's giving you, they're not biased on where you are.
Yeah.
So how do you make sure you're getting a 90% bias on where you are?
Yeah.
Buy small hardware, put it in your workshop, start sending data there, and the response that you get back, it is for sure that the bias is becoming out of your own context. And from there, if you repeat that, then you get a well-trained, well-biased AI that knows your environment.
So is that part of your vision, your next 5 to 10 year vision for CHIPUROBO?
Yeah, my goal is teach, have the social enterprise running, learners coming to the workshop as frequently as possible, partner with universities, partner with secondary schools, provide learning materials for primary institutions. And once those things are up and running, as you can see, create that final, I don't want to say call it a final piece, but it's a piece where you see all this knowledge. Here are the different use cases and case studies that we've been applied for. I'd like to partner with hospitals. I'd like to now double down with what David is doing with agriculture. I'd like to double down also in film and production.
Attention to all aspiring media mavens, visionaries and game changers. Something great is about to happen. Something that will revolutionize your journey to success. Introducing the Standard Talanta Academy, a collaboration between two powerhouses, Standard Media Group and Talanta Institute. In the heart of this partnership lies a mission to empower and inspire the next generation of media leaders and content creators. Led by the industry titans, Talanta Institute and Standard Media Group, we offer exceptional training skills and state-of-art equipment and facilities. Whether your dream is to become the next big TV presenter, TV host, film producer, or the next big content creator, Talanta Academy is your launchpad to success in today's dynamic media landscape. The Standard Talanta Academy, where dreams takes flight and greatness is within reach. Enroll now and unlock your full potential. Visit talanta.ac.ke or call the number on the screen. Join us as we embark on this transformative journey.
So
for film, actually, speaking of film, Paul Mukoma, just bring that. He said he had something he wants to show. So what is this? And you created it or something?
Well, this is I bought.
Okay.
Yeah, this is it's a piece of equipment. It's called a DJI camera.
Okay, it's a camera.
It's a camera. You see this head moving around.
Yeah.
Well, essentially, it's a camera that has joints that can move. It's a robotic camera. It's a basic robotic camera.
Basic.
Yeah, because essentially ni camera huku juu.
Okay.
And iko na motor hapa katikati.
Okay.
And then processing hapa chini, and then power at the bottom.
So how did you spruce it up?
No, since we bought it, my goal is to explain how, within its simplest form, how Africans or Kenyans can revamp or leapfrog in the production industry in terms of using the latest production equipment and also create an ecosystem around it to support it. I think we were speaking about having jibs or RC cars that can carry a camera around and follow a person. This, in its basic form, it literally tracks a person when you're shooting. Like so most of the time people move left to right when you're like want to track a person.
Yeah.
It's just to put down. It just follow you around.
Yeah.
So this is a piece of tech that, if you see it, it just foreshadows where production is going. So in the journalism space, if you can talk just a little bit about it.
Yeah.
journalism and technology should never be in different conversations. These are things that needs to be talked hand in hand, because kosa kupelekana na kenye inatumika at the moment, then you become left out. And this is one of them. It's very small, very powerful, and if used correctly, you don't even need to be...
You don't need what we have here.
Well,
you don't need this giant equipment we have all over this studio.
Exactly. And it's
really?
In its simplest form.
Okay.
All these cameras format that they shoot, this can shoot in that format too.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically it's just teach Africans.
So this can do, I had you all saying 4K. Let me not pretend I know.
It shoots 4K, 24 frames a second. Same things that these cameras are.
So unaniachia for this season one. For real, for real. Usiseme tu hivyo juu kamera.
Hapana. And by the way, from a production perspective, Hollywood is moving to
that.
This and other robotic cameras and systems to shoot for production. We are going to virtual reality studio production sets.
Yes.
Where it's only a green screen, a software developer somewhere, and a really high-tech camera. Then since production scenes in a change this fast, you don't even need to change a physical set the way you've been doing traditionally.
Because now AI is into the mix of how we are producing film.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, if you go to these companies like...
Rudishia Paul atuchukue nini picha na hizo 4K please.
Yeah, so basically it's my goal for the next years is learn as much as possible. I'll still revert back to you. This is treat this like an email we've started.
Yeah.
So it started now, 1st of June. That email is, "Hi Kevin, where are you at the moment? This is where you are." And I'm telling you back as a reply, this is where I am and this is where I'm going. So probably the next email we write to each other is, "I've already gotten there. This is my next steps."
Wow.
Yeah, and currently it's just learn as much as possible.
Yeah.
Impact as many youths as possible across different ages. Have that workshop accessible to everyone who wants to learn as much as possible. And then ultimately show Africans and Kenyans how this technology is being adapted into various
industries and sectors. You know, the thing, when I first met you, and it was it's a week, right? It's actually maybe a week or maybe 10 days ago. And the thing I liked about you is, in spite of that break, you know, like you were changing your mind about, I don't want to be in this campus because whatever I'm being taught, I know. And then your parents were going through, a divorce. So just the emotional turmoil of that. And then your own, like, this is not for me. Like, because most people, for me, I would be like, hey, let the drama at home settle. And then when it settles, then maybe I can say whatever it is. Like I would have sacrificed I would have put me, back because I'm seeing what's happening at home. And most of us do that.
Yeah.
But for you, you went and told your parents, your dad, and he said, you know what? Yeah. And now you're taking care of both of them. So how are you able to just just jump into that level of forgiveness, forgiving your dad for not wanting to play a part anymore in just the things you were saying? He may not have understood what it is, because even I don't understand fully AI, robotics, etc. Until I came to your workshop. I'm like, wow, you can make this for me. You can make this for me. You remember those discussions we were talking about? But this is your parent, and they've done their best to, just give you an education, pay for it. And now you want to drop out of campus. So you're shattering their dream. Their own dream of, marital harmony is also splitting. And your dad says, enough. And he moves out. And somehow you go to school, courtesy of Good Samaritan, Mr. Mwangi, and and now you're taking care of your dad and your mom. So how do you get into that level where I forgive you, Dad? Here we are,
Basic principle.
Okay.
Only commandment that usually has a condition. Yeah, you just Kevin, the things that you want to do, if you want to do them for a very long time, that means you need to live for more years. So there's just one condition that you just have to follow. You need to honor your parents so that you may live long in this life. It's just it has a condition. If you don't honor them, hey, you might not live long in this life. And me, I want to live long in this life. I want to teach. I want to continue building stuff even when I'm 90. So for me, it's a condition. It does not ask whether your parents are this or that. They are your parents. So for me, it was more of, because Lord, I am doing your work, and this work you've shown me, it's not going to stop. Whether my current situation is bad or good, you have decided this journey, this purpose of empowering the youth, it will go on whether your situation is good or bad. So my job was just to, you know what you need to do. These are your parents. You can't change that. You can't control Z. You can't undo. I can't undo. I can't press Control Z so many times until you go back to a scenario where things are good. No, you can't do that. Things are where they are. And the only thing you can do is press play. And what is press play is honor your father and mother so that you may live long in this life, so that the Lord may bless me. My mom tells me that I'm a mustard seed and a mustard tree. The seed that she planted of, I know you're my last born, you're the one who's going to hold this family up. Not only this family, but I never knew what family meant. Family is this whole community of having so many branches that people can sit on. Because you have big branches, you have a very good shed. People can come down, and find shed there.
Yeah.
If it's fruit, they can get fruit from me. If it's leaves, when they fall down, it nourishes the soil. So when I look at myself, yes, I'm dog side, but I usually, like my mom, I usually ask my mom, like, am I meant to be this big mustard tree? Yes. Don't look at now, look at in the next couple of years where you will be.
Yeah.
So that goal of being my work becoming a social enterprise and me empowering people is the work of God. So I can't stop it. No one can. And all I am is just a vessel. And my team, they also know that. So you're just vessels of delivering this to the youth. And that's all we do. And if we had refused that, God would have chosen someone else to do the same. So as much as there's so many difficulties in the journey.
If someone watching now and they have, young kids, like how, what I know is sometimes parents want their kids to do more. So if you're on school holiday and I don't want my child to be at home, yet maybe they can't take them, in my time, tulikuwa tunapeleka ushago. Like, and then you shall go for 1 month, and we used to love it. You too?
Wow.
So, in this day and age, you find maybe that is also like an expensive thing for parents to do. So, and they hear you talk about AI robotics, and that's now, it's not even the future anymore, it's the now.
Yeah.
It's the now. Like, if you're not somehow finding out what AI robotics and STEM, what all of that is, this is when it's now happening, and some of us are having to maybe read 10 times more because we're used to a different, era. We lived in a different era. But if there are parents who have kids at home or university students who are tuned into this podcast and they want to, come to your workshop, they want mentorship, yes, and they want to just know, hey, can we just come and at least start, because you've mastered it, you know what it is. They want to come, they want to learn. Obviously, there's a fee they pay, which you discuss, whenever you meet them. But how can they reach you? wherever it is they're watching from this continent?
Just revamped the website. At the moment, it's accepting enrollment in the form of a form.
Okay.
You just go into CHIPUROBO.com,
Okay.
and from there, there's a form that you fill if you want to get started,
Yeah.
or if you have experience, whether you'd like to polish those skills into becoming a product development cycle.
Yeah.
For WhatsApp, you use 0715 067 441. And for the website, you use chipurobo.com. There are two forms, for those that are beginners and for those that are experts that would love to polish up their skills. So those are the two avenues. And also, you can use our email, chipurobo@gmail.com, for us to reach us on email as well. So those are the three avenues that you can use to reach us. And for the WhatsApp, if you need quick feedback on different areas, feel free to reach out from there. We'll be sure to respond to you from there.
Yeah, I like that. So you have a website, a Gmail address, and a WhatsApp number.
Yeah.
If you're going to communicate from outside Kenya, then you have to start with +254.
Yes.
That is if you're using WhatsApp. But the numbers are, they're down here, and you can go to our social platforms to just also get more information on that. So that, no one now has an excuse where you say, yeah, I don't know these things that are about AI and robotics. We have a center here in Nairobi CBD Central Business District, so you can't get lost, and at least get your kids. If you're in college, just get to know what it is. Just get to know what it is and the benefits it has in our communities.
Parents usually ask me, like, yes, my kid is like this, like he's like you. Like they usually pass by the workshop. Mtoto wangu anapenda kutuanisha, kufanya, like it's usually the same story that my dad used to
say
about me, like, mtoto wangu man.
Yeah. And now here
juzi alitoanisha laptop yangu, sijui amefanya. It's the same narrative.
Yes.
And what usually pains is when the parent is trying to step, like, this thing needs to stop.
Yeah.
And then I tell them, if you stop, then they don't even, like, that's like me. It's like you're telling that child they can't become like me.
Yeah. You're killing something in them. You're killing that which
you're killing
sovereign.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, this person, who are the wealthiest people in this world? They are the talented people.
Yeah.
But I know in the African context, it's not the talented people. It's usually the other people. But in this context, the true context is true artists and innovators. Those are the most wealthiest people.
Yeah.
Look at Bill Gates. Look at Steve Jobs. Look at the founders of Google.
Yeah.
All of these people innovated or created something from somewhere.
True. Elon Musk
as well. So when your child is trying to mess with things, come up with things, join things together.
Wakuleta huyo mtoto.
Yeah, because I was that.
Yeah.
Still I'm still following that journey of creating, still a child inside.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I am able to connect with these children, come up with a good roadmap of how they can move from I'm confused, don't know how these things work into
Yeah. Perfect for you. And also, like something you said, because also it's a very confusing time for many young people, like that period of time when you're done with high school and you do not know what does my journey look like? What do I want to do? Everyone goes through that. Like, you're just there, umezuba tu. Kuzuba is Swahili for kuzuba. Swahili for you're clueless. You don't know what you want to do. You're 17 or 18, you're done with high school, but I don't want to be idle. So just like you, I think that would be a great opportunity if you're in that stage in life, or you have been, maybe the last 1 year, you're just like maybe taking a course or two to find Kevin and just even visit the workshop. Just visit the workshop and just see what happens there. And peradventure, it may be something that, tickles your fancy and you say, oh, okay, that doesn't sound too bad, right? Yeah, I have 4 questions for you. Celebrate Dad in style this Father's Day at Novotel Nairobi Westlands. Treat him to an unforgettable experience where you get to bond over nyama choma, board games, pool table, darts, and also well-being massages and barber. We know your dad deserves some TLC, and what better place than Novotel Nairobi Westlands? For more information, call 0709 027 100. Tell me one person, you've talked to me about your mom and your dad, so but one person who was a light to you in a hard or dark season.
I would say Mr. Anthony.
Okay.
I know we've talked about him a bit more, but for him, like the world was shutting down on me. Like I told you, niko karibu kuingia kuwa makanga. Niko tu hivi kidogo nikuwe makanga. Ilikuwa tu kidogo hivi. Because now if he hadn't, like, I can't help you. Yeah, my next result was ningie rodi, ningie barabara, nikuwe makanga. And then who knows? Who knows? So when things were really closing down on me, like, hey, Kevin, it's kind of, it seemed like the end of this brain that you have. I think you're not going anywhere. Like, that's where I was seeing myself, like things were really closing down on me. And for him to only take 5 to 10 minutes to tell me, oh, it's okay. How it feels for you.
Okay.
That was I would usually say that just God speaking to him and also me.
Yeah. How do you show up for life every single day?
That's a very good question. How do I show up for life every single day? I guess the earlier you know your purpose, the better. The earliest you know why you are brought into this world, most times life becomes better. Problems don't go away, but just life becomes better. And from the moment someone asked me whether I can become their mentor or teacher, like 3-4 years ago, to now, so many people asking me, can I come to the workshop? Can I come? Can I come? Can you mentor me? Can I come? Can you show me this? Teach me this? Show me this? All those things compiled together.
Yeah.
I am able to go through life much easier because I know my purpose is much greater. So when I just focus on the purpose, even if I stumble upon problems or issues, like I know, like, Kevin, your purpose is much greater. This thing that you're going through is not going to last. You just keep on going. It's just when I say, thank you, Lord, even if I'm in a tough decision, I know this is just only for a moment. Things are going to get better.
Yeah.
So it's just getting close to God, remembering my purpose, and using those two combinations to go through life like man of steel.
Like who?
A man of steel.
A man of steel.
Yeah.
Eish, okay. Okay, so what are the 3 things that matter to you the most in this season of your life?
First is, I'm going to treat it like a game or levels. So there's each level. When I took high school, hiyo time nikitoka high school nikikuja ilikuwa like level 1.
Yeah.
And then by the time ningia Moringa school ilikuwa level 2. And then by the time ningia Kitabu to start programming, level 3. And then by the time I start CHIPUROBO, that's level 4. So at the moment I'm level 5. So all those times, the one thing that I'm going to give you the 3, but the first thing is, if I used to pray, let me give it in intensity.
Yeah.
If I used to pray like this in level 4, I can't pray like this in level 5. I have to pray like, lazima niongeze. If I was this close to God, I have to be this close to God. So that's just one. Each and every day get closer to God. Pray more than you prayed. And then, secondly, for my parents. Because they are aging, I want to honor them more. I'm working and I'm praying they get to see my success. So second thing that is key important that right at the moment it's very important to me na my parents. They're getting old. Pia mi nikizeeka, pia wanazeeka. And sometimes you forget, like, it's not only me who's getting old, but also my parents are aging. So for me, it's just to, if I can pray, I'd say pause, I work until I'm able to be successful so that you can see my success. That is something that I'm working on. And then thirdly is just being a top voice, an empowering voice, a voice when you listen to gives you both hope and an opportunity to be able to help yourself. Those are the three most important things at the moment. If I am not able to help you help yourself, then I have failed. Yeah, so those are the three most important things. Yeah, God, and me telling him, give me the strength and empower me to be able to help those you have told me to help. So that's just it.
That is so powerful.
Yes.
That is so powerful. So what's the meaning of CHIPUROBO?
CHIPUROBO has two names. One is Chipu, meaning chipukizi, like young and budding.
Okay.
Yeah, like in Swahili, if you translate chipukizi, just means young and upcoming.
Oh, I thought it's the artist.
No.
Okay.
It's the chipukizi coming from the scout. I was a scout when I was in primary and high school. So the first level, like you join, like it still goes with levels. The first one is chipukizi, like when you're coming up.
Yes.
I have some memories from that time. So I just decided to this chipukizi name. Yeah, it's for young and budding. And my mom calling me a small seed that's going to be a mustard tree. So I said, you know what? Since I'm young and I'm budding up to becoming something, and this is the same thing that I'm going to empower young people to become something also. So that's where the Chipu name comes from. Chipukizi, Robotics. So it's young, budding people who want to get started with robotics. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That is so good.
Yeah.
Anyone with a question for Kevin before we call it a wrap? Anybody? Going once? Going twice?
How are you collaborating with other institutions?
Okay, our producer Mukoma said, our production partner asked, I know his voice will be heard, so mine is clearer. How are you collaborating with other institutions?
Like Talanta, how can you collaborate?
Mukoma is the founder CEO of Talanta Institute, also a training institution. So he wants to know how CHIPUROBO can collaborate, or how you collaborate, because he's heard you say, you go to high schools, universities. He's a training institution as well. So how do these collaborations come together?
These collaborations are like very easy to formulate because you usually just plug into a school's times table. So you also have a teaching background. So what we do is, you remember, we are in the adaptation phase, Catherine. It's this new technology. How do we bring it to Talanta Institute? But in the form of, I haven't watered it down from the way they are seeing it from other people. But at the same time, it's so local, so fine-grained into a level that they're able to understand. So we usually start from that perspective of, what are you looking to learn?
Yeah.
And then from there, how can we adapt what you're looking to learn with our own offering?
I see.
So combination of what you're offering, what they're looking to learn, train them together. Bring that together. And then follow or break it down into a curriculum that can be followed through a term, through a month, depending on the period of time they would love.
Yeah.
And then from there, we break it down into the number of students, learning materials, and then you start.
So basically what you've said is there's room to collaborate with these institutions.
Yes.
Does that answer your question? Yes. Okay. Anyone watching you, especially people who fund, donors watching you, people who just say, we want to invest in that CHIPUROBO. I do not know whether those opportunities are there or not, but if they want to get in touch with Kevin, an investor watching, and you never know where podcasts go, they reach anybody.
Yes.
So someone saying, what would it take to invest in in that AI, the only AI robotics institution in Kenya, in East Africa?
I have a very short answer.
Right.
From a Kiswahili perspective.
Okay.
Kizuri
Chajuza.
From this podcast. Since we are speaking the truth.
Yes.
And only the truth. I usually say it will usually sell itself.
Yeah.
So what investors or someone who wants to help us would expect is total honesty.
Yes.
And a well-defined roadmap, which they can help us move from where we are to where we are going.
Yes.
That they can expect.
I like that. And also I would ask that they come visit the workshop.
Thank you.
That's the only way to fully understand what this young man is doing there with his team. Just visit this workshop, Nairobi CBD. If you email, again, the addresses, email, WhatsApp, go to the website, then you'll know where the workshop is. And you can just pay them a visit randomly. Just go there randomly any day time and just see what they do and understand it. But if we have AI and robotics in this country, in this region, in East Africa, it's the kind of place I would want to put my money on because of where this thing is now in the world. But I'm so grateful that you came.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for making time.
Yes.
There's one person in your story I feel is important to just recognize, and that's the person who, when you started at Moringa.
Big shout out to Madam Agnes. She is goated. Madam Agnes, if you're listening to this, you'll always be the greatest of all time to me. Madam Agnes, who's called Agnes the same way my mom is called. We share the same name.
Okay.
And funny thing is, Madam Agnes from Moringa School used to have his friend who would still work as a janitor called Julius. Julius is the same name my dad.
Wow.
So back in the day in Moringa School, Madam Agnes, she would pop in early in the morning. I would too because, kutoka Rongai mpaka Moringa School. If you're not, kama urauki asubuhi, you're messed, you'll get traffic.
Yeah.
So I have to wake up at ungodly hours. Na matatu za kwenda soko because those are like the first lap from Rongai to town. From naangusha hapo Kenyatta, natembea from Kenyatta to Prestige Plaza. Napatana na Agnes akifungua Moringa School, ndo she's cleaning up. So very mutual understanding of kusaidia I'm helping you clean, and she would have my back when it comes to breakfast because most of the time I used to have fare, but not the other way around.
Yeah.
So she has always had my back. So thank you, Madam Agnes, for not only taking care of me, but feeding me. And I would really love for her to see where my next journey is taking me.
That's awesome. So,
thank you, Madam Agnes.
That's awesome. Yeah. I like that. Yeah, I like people like that. I call them angels that just show up when we really need them.
Yeah.
So we're coming to Father's Day, and a lot of people have father wounds. And there are those who have great relationships with their dads, which is great. There are those who have, their dads have transitioned, and there are those who still carry father wounds. So a message to young people where relationships with their dads is concerned.
First, we can't change who our parents are. Can't change. There's no way you can change their status, where they are, how they chose to raise you. You can't change that. You can't undo that. And the more we focus on what they did, and the more we focus on actually the wrong things that they did, we just dig a very deep hole, not for them, but for us. And that anger consumes you day in, day out. My message is to find peace, pray as much, get closer to God, because it's still God who gave you those parents. It is still God who chose those parents to birth you. So it was not a mistake that He chose to do so. Honor them. Find truth, find peace. And from that, as you can see from me, that baggage, I let it go so long ago. And because of that, my wings and the weight that I'm carrying, I am so light and I am able to fly as high as I can. So my message to you is find peace, find forgiveness, and from that, you'll be able to grow. Yeah.
Kevin Irungu, thank you so much for coming to What's Your Story Africa.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you for having me.
You are goated.
Thank you. Thank you.
I've learned the word, man.
Thank
You're
you.
goated.
Thank you.
You are control what? You are talking in computer terms. You're not control Z, you're control.
I'm not control Z. Well, if you do shift control Z, you come back to the same state as you are. So mine is not shift control Z. It's not control Z. Mine is just doing. Mine is just typing.
Yeah, keep playing.
Keep playing. Yeah, mine. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
what a conversation. Thank you so much for watching, listening. And it is such a moment of pride and honor for this podcast to have a first technical conversation. And it had to do with AI and robotics, something that I think the world is, just getting adapted to. And we will have Kevin here, and he will share all of these pictures so they see. CHIPUROBO.com, CHIPUROBO@gmail.com, and the number, he repeats it again, is
0715-067-441.
Great. So find him on WhatsApp. And let's just see how to elevate the AI robotics conversation in Kenya, East Africa, the rest of the world. If you're watching from outside Africa, then pay us a visit when you come on to this country of ours, this beautiful country of ours. Hopefully you get to stay at the Novotel Nairobi Westlands. It's beautiful, beautiful hotel. They've been wonderful and given us just such warm hospitality. And we are so grateful for the partnership. Until the next podcast, stay well, stay safe. God bless you.
Bye-bye.
This episode is in partnership with Novotel Nairobi Westlands. This exquisite hotel provides a high level of comfort and relaxation for all leisure, wellness, and business guests.